Okay, so that was a really quick overview on pretty common data patterns when we're looking at between adjacent condition analysis. Your book will go into other key features that you'll want to target when you're conducting this analysis. It will go over immediacy of change, overlap, and consistency. So take a look at those. It will then go into a really systematic procedure for conducting visual analysis. That's on page 198, and figure 8.13 has a really nice flow chart of that process. It will highlight the following areas and walk you through how to determine if these are present or not. So the first of those is having an adequate number of data points within conditions to establish patterns. You want clear patterns within conditions in regards to level, trend, or stability. Behavior change between adjacent conditions in level, trend, and or variability should be observed. The degree of overlap and immediacy of change in data patterns across adjacent conditions, consistency of changes across conditions and cases, and then you really want predicted patterns of change. And the magnitude of change across conditions and cases is important as well. So you want clear changes in that behavior that can be seen visually. That will lead to predicted patterns. Gast and Ledford provides applications for these for pages 203, 206 through 206. He gives pretty great little case studies on how we do this summative analysis for different types of research design. So he'll go over one for withdrawal design, another one for multiple baseline, and then another one for alternating treatments. So please take a look at that. I think it will really help conceptualize all of this information. Following that, they'll also go through step-by-step procedures on how to actually calculate trends, level stability, overlapping data, all of that good stuff. So review that as well. I didn't want to necessarily type it out. They go through it in a pretty clear and concise format with step-by-step procedures for that calculation. Just overall goals for visual data analysis, we're really striving to determine a functional relation, right? So we systematically implement different conditions in order to determine if that functional relationship exists. Prime example would just be an AB-AB design where condition A is followed by condition B, reversed back to condition A, followed by condition B. And we really want to see that clear behavior change during those condition changes. So that's our adjacent analysis. Just the definition of functional relationships, so unequivocal demonstrations that an independent variable, your intervention, produce reliable and consistent change in a dependent variable that target behavior. So that should be a review, but that's the main goal, and that's what we're doing when we're analyzing the data. We're really trying to show that our data demonstrates that relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. So our analysis entails, again in summary, changes in data patterns, so that level, trend, and variability, immediacy of change, amount of overlapping data, and consistency of data patterns across similar conditions. These two chapters are really obviously data heavy, and it's hard to lecture on them without having the visual graphs. I think the book does a really nice representation of the material using visual information, so please spend time going over that. If you do have more questions, want to go in more in depth, please reach out to me. A conversation on this, answering your questions, may help significantly. So please reach out to me if you do want to meet individually.